Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Wooden Railway Cartoons. Episode 2. Thomas's trouble with the troublesome trucks. It was a nice sunny day on the island of Sodor, and Thomas the Tank Engine was working on his branch line with his faithful coaches Annie and Clarabelle. He was proud of his branch line. He loved his coaches very much. However, he loved his coaches so much that he didn't want to be pulling trucks all the time. Considering troublesome trucks are worse than coaches. One day, he stopped at the station. When he was picking up passengers, the Fat Controller was there. "Thomas," he said, "I know you love your branch line so much, but I think it's about time you have a change of scenery." "What do you mean, sir?" asked Thomas. "Well," said the Fat Controller, "troublesome trucks are more difficult to handle than coaches can be." "But, sir," said Thomas, "what about my coaches? Duck will be pulling Annie and Clarabelle until you return," said the Fat Controller. Thomas was uncoupled from Annie, and they waited until Duck arrived. They waited and waited, but Duck didn't come. "Where could he be?" asked Thomas. The Fat Controller was confused too. "I don't know, Thomas, but it looks like Duck may have a branch line to run too." "I'll send for Rosie, and we'll have to wait until Rosie arrives then." And soon she did. "Sorry, sir," said Rosie, panting. "I had to just shunt and arrange a train for Thomas to pull." "Better late than never," said the top mat. "Off you go, Rosie." And Rosie puffed away. And Rosie was right. Troublesome trucks had been troublesome all day. Thomas soon arrived at Knapford Tunnel, where the trucks were waiting. "We'll write as Thomas to poke his funnel around here," said one truck. "We want Rosie or Percy," they grumbled. "Be quiet," said Thomas, and he bumped the trucks hard. "Ouch!" Harold was there. "Do be careful with the trucks, Thomas," said Harold. "They'll be troublesome," as he said as he took off. "Oh, what do you know?" said Thomas. "You're a helicopter." "Tracks will be slippery, you know, and I must be helping with safety," he said, and Harold zoomed away. Thomas didn't always take much notice of Harold. "Off we go," he said, and Thomas pulled away with his train. However, Thomas should have waited for a back engine to help him, just in case he needed to get up hills. Thomas thought he could do it, considering he's number one. However, when he came to the hill on the bridge, the trucks decided to pull back. "Hold back! Hold back!" said the trucks. "Shut up," said Thomas. And as he got over the hill, the truck's chance came. "Hurrah, hurrah," they said, and bumped Thomas down the hill. And then Thomas went right through the Sodor mine. But as he did, Thomas veered off the corner and nearly fell off the track. Zoomed right through the water tower. Then Thomas's driver tried to shut off steam and apply the brakes. But it was too late. "Oh no, there's something up ahead on my track," said Thomas. And it was right. It was Rosie, pulling Henny and Clarabelle back to the yard at the level crossing. Thomas saw Rosie and help, he said. Rosie got away just in time though, before Thomas came through. "I better get moving quick," said Rosie. The Troublesome trucks were very heavy to stop, and Thomas's caboose wasn't strong enough to stop. Luckily, there was a T-switch at the engine sheds, and the signalman diverted Rosie into the siding just in time. Then Rosie screeched to a halt in Thomas's shed. Suddenly, the 4 tender engines woke from their nap at the sheds. Percy saw the situation and decided to switch tracks and coupled up to Annie to take cover. Thomas was having a hard time with Troublesome trucks. He zoomed right through Henry's tunnel. Zoomed under the old stone bridge. And then as he veered around the corner, he veered off the track in a shower of sparks. Then there was more trouble. Thomas crashed into a tree. "Oh, bust my buffers," cried Thomas. "What will the Fat Controller think about me now? Oh, he's going to hate me for this, isn't he?" "What are we going to do?" said Percy. "None of us can get in or out of the sheds." Luckily, Harold was there and saw the situation. Then he flew off to fetch help. Harold found Skarloey waiting on the curve track. "Skarloey," said Harold, "you better go get the nearest crane. Thomas has had an accident and we need your help." So, without further ado, Skarloey coupled up to the Sudar ice car, which was the only one he could get. And he soon got there as soon as he could. When he found Thomas stuck by the broken tree, he soon got to work. In no time, Thomas was back on the rails, and soon he had Edward to do the freight job, and Percy, because Thomas was still inexperienced with trucks. He decided he had to stick with those coaches. The next day, though, Thomas was soon back with Annie and Clarabelle. And the passengers were happy to see their favourite tank engine back. and Thomas knew that his branch line was the most important part of the line.